The Home Mortgage Law Show is a paid program and is intended as a resource guide for education, information, and entertainment purposes and is not intended to provide specific legal advice. The information that you hear should not be used as a substitute for competent legal advice from a professional attorney. Hiring of an attorney is an important decision which should not be based on advertising or the information that you hear today.
Welcome back to the Home Mortgage Law Show, brought to you by the law offices of Morris Dupont. 866-610-6397. That's our studio line. You're free to call with your questions, your comments, your concerns. 866-610-6397. AT&T Wireless customers, star 610.
And I know we've got a lot of listeners that are on hold, but we do have a special caller who's calling into the show right now. You know, the Brethren of Foreclosure Defense Attorneys, competent foreclosure defense attorneys, is actually very small. I wouldn't say that there is anyone who's the best foreclosure defense attorney in Florida, but there is a level of quality of foreclosure defense attorneys that are at the top. I'm proud to say that my partner, Will Morris, is certainly part of that brethren. Also,
thank you.
Yeah, of course. But also part of that brethren is another great foreclosure defense attorney, and that is attorney Roy Oppenheim. And I do believe that we have Roy on the phone to talk to us about a very important issue that is in front of the
Florida.
It's not it's a representative, House of Representatives. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, because it's gone through the Senate already. So let's get Roy on the phone.
Roy, are you there?
I'm right here.
Hi,
Roy.
Roy. How are you
hear me?
today? Yeah, sure, we can hear you.
Great. I just wanted to share with your listeners and with you all what the impact is going to be of what is being euphemistically and unfairly called the Fair Foreclosure Act.
The Unfair Foreclosure Act.
Right.
And that is Bill HB 213 that has passed the Senate, the state Senate, and now it is with the House of Representatives in the state of Florida. We've got petitions out there, folks. We've got a lot of resistance to this. But Roy, you want to tell the folks a little bit about exactly what this bill would do?
Well, I was on a BARD phone conference on Thursday where we got really an executive briefing on where the bill is. And I think it's fair to say that lawyers are actually going to do very well with this bill, unfortunately. Lawyers like yourselves, I must say, for the simple reason that unless people lawyer up, unless people stand their ground, they will be bulldozed by this new legislation. And so you're going to really have a tale of two cities. You're going to have a group of people who won't be able to stay in their homes 5, 6, 7, 800 days. And you're going to have another group of people that could stay in their homes maybe 1,000 days or maybe 10 years, or maybe they'll be able to stay in their homes forever. That latter group is going to be people who are represented by competent counsel such as yourselves.
And, of course, such as attorneys such as you. So where is the bill at as of Friday? I was over in Tampa, and I didn't get news as of Friday. Where is the bill in the House of Representatives?
It has to come to the floor for a second reading, but it passed so overwhelmingly, so quickly, that even people who flew up and expected to speak were never even given an opportunity. It's a railroad by the banks to basically get people who are not defending themselves, who are abandoning their properties, to basically get those properties back on the street quicker. And I have to tell you, if you've abandoned your property, A, you're silly.
Right.
B, it's probably better that those properties get back on the street, because an abandoned property that's ultimately owned by the bank or owned by no one is probably the worst thing for the community. It's the worst thing for your neighbors, and it's just a bad picture.
I agree with you there, Roy. There's certainly two sides to that story. I think on the one hand, you do want to see abandoned properties back on, but at the same time, how are these banks getting these properties back? And simply on their word, the bank simply has to, as I understand the bill, fill out an affidavit saying that these properties are abandoned and therefore they should go through the accelerated foreclosure process. And we've all seen how the banks have been so good at filling out affidavits in the past.
It's unbelievable that they're going to let the fox watch the hen house.
Absolutely.
Having said that, those people who lawyer up, those people who stand their ground, are going to have actually a better shot, because there are going to be new prerequisites for the bank before they file their foreclosure action to have actually attached the note, not a note, but the note, okay? And the question, of course, is going to be if, in fact, you are defended by competent counsel, that the note is not attached.
Right.
The A note, but it isn't going to be the note, as Will, as you said, it may not have the proper allonges, the assignment of mortgages may not be right, there may be, a notary fraud, there may be perjury, and so right at the onset, there could be a challenge to whether or not the note has been attached properly to the complaint. And so it's a new standard that doesn't exist now in the rules of Florida civil procedure, that the note, the appropriate note, is attached to the complaint properly. Not just a note, but the note.
My problem with this is that there are plenty of people out there, and I meet with clients with this situation every day, Roy, and I'm sure you do too. They were told in order to get a loan modification, they need to go past due without any specifics as to how long they should go past due. They go past due 2 months, and they want to stay in their home. They are only trying to get a loan modification. They have suffered a financial hardship. They go the 2 months past due. They try to make the payment in the third month. The lender rejects the payment and says, no, we've got you in foreclosure. You have to pay the full past due amount, and then there's all these fees on top of it. They can't afford to pay that amount. They end up in foreclosure. The last thing they wanted to do was see themselves in foreclosure. But as fair as our fees are for foreclosure defense, they cannot afford those fees. They don't have access to the information that they need to know that they have the right to defend it and that it's perfectly affordable, and they end up losing their home in a matter of months. Because the defenses weren't raised that, as to they should not have been foreclosed on while they had an active loan modification application pending. They were just doing exactly what the lender told them to do. I mean, I hear it every day.
And supposedly this $25 billion, I put the $25 billion in quotation marks because it really isn't a 25.
It's five.
It's really five.
Yeah.
Right.
The other $20 billion the banks had already lost. So they basically were doubling down on money that they already had lost. So they didn't give up that.
Right.
Yeah.
But let's, since most people know it as a $25 billion settlement, even though that settlement has not yet been released to the public in terms of the actual documentation.
I don't think it's even been presented to a judge.
Right, probably not.
But supposedly in there, this dual tracking is supposed to stop.
Right.
And if it doesn't, it's possible that we will be able to walk in with that settlement and say that they violated this settlement agreement, and it's a national settlement agreement. It's supposed to have impact, on all 50 states, all across the land.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That guideline has been in place for 2 years, and they foreclose on these people who have loan mod applications. I have clients who have a short sale application pending. They're days away from closing. The lender files a foreclosure action. It's absolutely ridiculous. But Roy, we've got to run. I really appreciate you calling the show and talking a little bit about HB 213 because it's very important. There are petitions out there. I'm going to put one on the Facebook page. And Roy Oppenheimer, great for you to call. We really appreciate it. One of the best in the business.
Thanks, guys. Love talking to you.
Thank you, Roy.
Bye.